Sizzla Kalonji's legacy is written in fire and faith. Long before debates, bans, and controversy followed his name, he had already carved himself into reggae history as one of the most relentless voices of modern roots and dancehall. His music did more than dominate sound systems. It reignited a spiritual movement. In the mid-1990s, when slackness and commercial trends were pulling reggae away from its Rastafarian core, Sizzla emerged like a revivalist preacher, chanting scripture, African consciousness, and social justice over hard, militant rhythms. Album after album, song after song, he reminded listeners that reggae was not just entertainment, it was testimony, warning, and resistance. Few artists in Jamaican music have matched his volume of work, and even fewer have matched its intensity. To his supporters, Sizzla is not merely an artist, he is a messenger, a cultural soldier, and a pillar of Rastafarian expression in the modern era. Yet woven tightly into that towering legacy are challenges that have followed him almost as persistently as his music. Sizzla's career has been shaped as much by confrontation as by creation. His outspoken nature, uncompromising beliefs, and incendiary lyrics have placed him at the center of global controversy, leading to bans, protests, and public backlash that have at times threatened to overshadow his artistry. Where some artists softened their edges to survive international markets, Sizzla stood firm, often at great personal and professional cost. His story, therefore, is not one of smooth ascent, but of constant tension between conviction and consequence. Born Miguel Orlando Collins on April 17, 1976, Sizzla entered the world grounded in Rastafarian discipline and spiritual order. Raised by devout Rastafarian parents in the Scots Hall community of St. Mary, Jamaica, his earliest lessons were not just academic, but moral and cultural. His mother, affectionately known as Mama Lou, was the emotional and intellectual backbone of his upbringing. She believed deeply in education, structure, and self-expression, nurturing her son's love for language and learning. Her influence would later echo powerfully in his lyrics, and most tenderly in his song, "Thank You, Mama," a public love letter born from private devotion. His father, practical and skilled, ran a garage where young Miguel learned auto mechanics and welding. The smell of oil, metal, and hard work filled his youth, teaching him discipline and self-reliance long before music promised another path. Though born in St. Mary, Sizzla was raised in Augustown, Kingston, Jamaica, a community steeped in history, struggle, and cultural resistance. By day, he studied mechanical engineering and worked as an apprentice in his father's garage, hands blackened by grease and labor. By night, he gravitated toward sound systems, practicing DJing and sharpening his voice over pounding speakers. Music was not yet a career. It was an outlet, a calling he felt but had not fully named. Education remained central. He attended Dunan Technical High School, where he formally studied mechanical engineering while continuing to weld and repair cars to help fund his schooling. Later, he reportedly pursued further studies at the University of Technology in Jamaica, exploring subjects as wide-ranging as physics, chemistry, mathematics, English, and architecture. This blend of technical training and self-directed learning helped shape his sharp, commanding lyrical style, dense with metaphor, scripture, and social critique. In the early 1990s, Sizzla began stepping fully into music, first under the nickname The Licka One. He practiced relentlessly on his father's black steel sound system, learning how to command crowds and ride rhythms with authority. His real musical schooling, however, came through Caveman Hi-Fi, led by Everton Dr. Cave Moore. There, Sizzla learned discipline, performance craft, and lyrical precision. It was during this period that mentor Homer Harris gave him the name Sizzla, a name that would soon blaze across reggae landscapes worldwide. Harris also introduced him to influential figures such as saxophonist Dean Frazier and legendary producer Philip "Faddis" Burrell, connections that would change the course of his life. Sizzla's official breakthrough arrived in 1995 when he joined Exterminator Records. His first single, Zagalu, announced a voice that was raw, urgent, and spiritually charged. That same year, his debut album, Burning Up, set the tone for what would become one of the most prolific careers in reggae history. But it was 1997 that truly cemented his place. With the release of Praise Ye Jah and Black Woman and Child, Sizzla transformed from a rising talent into a global force. Black Woman and Child, produced by Bobby Digital, was hailed as a masterpiece, praised for its lyrical depth and unapologetic celebration of Black womanhood, African identity, and Rastafarian faith. From that moment on, Sizzla was unstoppable. Albums poured out at a staggering pace, over 70 to date, earning him chart placements, international tours, and a reputation as one of the hardest-working artists reggae has ever known. Recognition followed. In 2014, he received his first Grammy nomination for The Messiah. He established Kalonji Records not only to control his output, but to mentor young artists and preserve creative independence. In 2019, the Jamaican government honored him with the Reggae Icon Award, acknowledging his cultural impact, despite the controversies that trailed him. Behind the public persona, Sizzla has guarded his private life closely. He speaks rarely of marriage, referring to his partner simply as his empress or wife, emphasizing respect, unity, and family sanctity. He is a father to several children, many of whom have stepped into music themselves. His son Maliku Collins, known as Scorcha, debuted at Reggae Sumfest in 2017, while Raheem Collins, also called Remus K, pursues his own musical path. Sizzla often shares moments with his daughters, including Bree Clark and Malkia Collins, expressing pride in their growth and achievements. Throughout it all, his bond with Mama Lou remained sacred until her passing, a loss that left a lasting imprint on his spirit and music. Financially, Sizzla's wealth reflects steady accumulation rather than flashy excess. With estimated net worth figures ranging between $1 million and $5 million, his income flows from live performances, royalties from a vast catalog, and business ventures. He commands high booking fees, particularly at international festivals, and owns both Kalonji Records and Judgment Yard in August Town, a sprawling compound that serves as his home, recording studio, cultural center, and youth mentorship hub. Beyond Jamaica, his assets extend across Africa, including an 800-hectare farm in Zimbabwe granted in 2010 and land officially awarded to him in Sierra Leone in 2025, reinforcing his deep symbolic connection to the African continent. Yet, no telling of Sizzla Kalonji's life is complete without confronting the controversies that have repeatedly reshaped his path. In the early 2000s, he became a central target of the Stop Murder Music campaign, with activists condemning lyrics they argued promoted violence against the LGBTQ+ community. Protests led to canceled concerts across Europe and North America, and in 2004, he was banned from entering the UK. Though he was reportedly associated with the Reggae Compassion Act in 2007, an agreement to avoid performing hateful material, his later distancing from the pact fueled renewed backlash. More recently, inflammatory remarks during a 2022 performance resulted in his ban from Reggae Sumfest in 2023. Public disputes, including his dramatic burning of plaques sent by DJ Khaled, further reinforced his reputation as defiant and uncompromising. Sizzla Kalonji remains, above all, a figure of contradiction and conviction. To some, he is a prophet of reggae's spiritual core. To others, a polarizing artist whose words have crossed dangerous lines. But regardless of where history ultimately places him, his influence is undeniable. His voice reshaped an era. His work ethic redefined productivity, and his presence continues to spark debate wherever reggae is discussed. Sizzla's life is not a simple success story. It is a storm of belief, brilliance, resistance, and consequence, still unfolding, still burning.